My name is Lindsay Robert. I'm a student here at Aspen University, and this is my final assignment for Families and Health. It's titled The Skinny on Ultra-Processed Foods. For this project, we had to select a specific health behavior and build a public health campaign around said behavior, and I selected the overconsumption of ultra-processed foods and proceeded to build my campaign. The name I selected for my campaign is The Skinny, as I plan to give the public the skinny on ultra-processed foods. The goal of the campaign is to promote healthy eating and reduce the consumption of ultra-processed foods. And the purpose of this campaign is to provide nutritional information to those who regularly consume these unhealthy food items. The Skinny will be a multifaceted informational campaign. And to reach the largest audience possible, I chose to employ use of the internet and social networking sites. In order to get information directly into the hands of the public, I'd distribute educational pamphlets, and posters and billboards would be created to grab consumer attention in targeted areas. First, a website would be created, which will feature details associated with my campaign, including nutrition information, consequences of eating ultra-processed foods, and suggestions for budget-friendly whole food meal plans. Next, profiles will be created on sites like Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram in order to share infographics and memes which will be created and shared on all sites. These shareable visuals will contain or link to my website in order to drive traffic back to the site. So here we have a sample infographic and a sample meme. And the infographic lays out information on ingredients found in ultra-processed foods as well as the consequences suffered from overconsumption. The graphic is easy to navigate and uses eye-catching colors and symbols. The meme features the popular Kermit the Snitch background, campaign-specific verbiage, and the tagline most common to this meme theme. The educational pamphlets, which will be created for distribution, will include information on the implications involved in consuming ultra-processed foods, as well as suggestions for eating healthfully on a budget. A variety of pamphlets will be printed in order to target specific individuals and groups. For example, Spanish language pamphlets would be created for distribution in neighborhoods with high Latino populations and feature healthier versions of recipes popular within that culture. Once created, these pamphlets will be displayed in doctor's offices, which are common locations for health education pamphlets. And I would also display my informative literature at community health centers and similar facilities that provide affordable health care for low-income individuals and families. Other display locations would include libraries, city and town halls, senior centers, and community centers. The final phase of my campaign involves the use of posters and billboards. Posters will feature a combination of information and humor, all in one simple design. Posters will be displayed at pamphlet distribution locations, local discount supermarkets, and public transportation stops such as bus stops and train stations. Now, billboards are expensive, and this portion of my campaign will depend on my budget. Billboard locations will need to be carefully selected to maximize impact. To encourage drivers to make smart choices when hitting the drive-thrus, I'd want to choose billboard locations that are located in areas with high concentrations of fast food restaurants. So why choose these approaches for my campaign? Well, ultra-processed foods are designed to be easily accessible and affordable. Here in America, individuals who live in impoverished areas are prone to obesity and diabetes, two issues associated with the consumption of ultra-processed foods. So there's clearly a connection among income, obesity and diabetes, and inexpensive ultra-processed foods. And for these reasons, much of my campaign will be focused in lower-income locations. Web and social networking sites are the easiest way to reach a large audience. The monthly reach of these sites are over 1.5 billion users on Facebook, 320 million users on Twitter, 400 million users on Instagram, and 100 million users on Pinterest. As mentioned, infographics combine visuals with information and are easily shared on Pinterest, Facebook, and Twitter. Memes are extremely popular. Using comedy to share information help make it more memorable to consumers. Most individuals have access to the internet, either via computer or smartphone. Even low-income individuals who do not have internet access at home are able to use the internet at community centers such as the library. While this method will reach people who fall into a variety of income levels, surely there will be a fair amount of low-income individuals included in my audience. Now, pamphlets allow consumers to take quick information home with them. In targeting low-income individuals, community health centers are the perfect location for pamphlet display, as these facilities offer affordable health care for low-income individuals and families who are unable to afford traditional health insurance or doctor's office visits. My pamphlets would also be available at libraries and community centers, which also cater to low-income individuals. Posters displayed at local grocery stores will help persuade people to purchase healthy foods in lieu of ultra-processed foods directly at the point of sale. Another location for posters will be public transportation spots, such as bus stops and train stations, the mode of transportation utilized by low-income individuals who may not be able to afford a vehicle or insurance. As mentioned, billboards will be carefully placed due to cost. To reach my intended audience, I would select locations in low-income communities and/or neighborhoods that contain a high concentration of fast food restaurants. Both billboards and posters displayed at public transportation stops will be visible to a wide audience of all income levels, maximizing my exposure. Finally, if my campaign is successful, there are several changes that should occur within the target communities. First, fast food and ultra-processed food sales should decrease. Second, sales of healthy foods like produce, minimally processed foods, and other whole foods should increase. And lastly, there should be a decrease in obesity and diabetes in the target areas.